used to enhance the auto-created test scripts. And there should be a one-click process to add required type of automation testing suites on the app under test. So while a functional test script has been executing, just by one click, we can add an interrupt test automation suite on it. We can select 5 or 10 different types of interrupts which we expect that can come anytime while the application is being used by my user. And those interrupts should be randomly placed while my test cases are being executed on, say, a large number of devices, and the result should be sent back to my system. Security certifications, OEM App Store certifications, as I said, they are standards. So why to do it every time for every different application? The framework should allow it. And UI verification, performance testing, we've already talked about. So mAutomate is a tool which I would like to present as a step in the right direction, where we are moving from a standard automation tool on the mobile side to the next level, where we can call it a real automation tool. So as far as the basic things are concerned, this particular framework, mAutomate, is based on the paper that I published on object comparison-based test automation for mobile application in 2010 at CTIA in US. And this allows you to build your own private device cloud across geographies. So typically in India, we have developers who are working on applications for our US customers, for our European customers, and the application have to be actually deployed in those networks on those devices. We have our offices there, but we don't have that many QA resources or developers in different geographies to actually test our application and deliver there. So this framework allows us to have our sales guys have certain devices in their hands at their site, and we just push one service application on that device. And once that service application is installed on the device, that device is available on the web interface for the QA engineer in India, and he can push n number of test cases, n number of test builds automatically from this system to be executed on those devices, and you get the results back without anyone even touching those devices. So we ask our offices in US to have these 10 devices put on the chargers, switch them on, deploy the application once, and leave it. Do not touch them ever. We are able to manage them completely from the web interface. So this is a private device cloud that any developer can create for himself. And this framework allows you to record once and execute on multiple devices. So say for an Android application, I can record the test cases on one device, and then I can execute it on large number of devices in different geographies, which can be tablets, which can be small form factors, which can be larger devices. If the same application supports all, it can be done.
Does your framework support in parallel running?
Yes.
Running on iOS and
Correct. So the framework allows us asynchronous execution of application under test on multiple platforms and multiple devices. So the best part is that if I have, say, around 50 devices in different geographies, on one click, I can push my application under test to all those devices. If the application is, say, a mobile web application, it can be pushed across all platforms simultaneously. If it is a hybrid, it can be pushed across all. If it's a native, then depending upon the platform, the application is be pushed.
So if it is a native, definitely there would be a challenge, right? A configuration, identifying, properties that would definitely differ. So how are you going to mitigate those challenges?
We have a service application that gets deployed on the device, and it gets all the device parameters and the requirements of the device back to this server and displays on the web interface. So you have to see that, are you targeting that particular device from your application? If yes, then you have to manage all those challenges from your application coding perspective itself, not from the testing perspective.
Okay, there is, extra efforts needed.
No, so say I'm developing a hybrid application, and I want the same application to run on iOS, Android, and Windows Phone of different screen sizes. Then I have to select the UI library, or if I'm using jQuery Touch or something, and use it in such a way that the application is rendered properly on all different form factors which we want to target. So that is the developer perspective. as a QA perspective, our aim is to test that it works on all different frameworks and the expected results matches the objects. It's an object-based comparison framework, so objects do not change. If I click on UI verification, then UI needs to be readable. It should not be distorted on different sizes. Yeah. Yes. So the framework allows one-click instrumentation. So you can drag and drop your APK or IAP or XAP file, and it will directly try to instrument that. And if due to certain issues, due to certain inbuilt libraries, the APK instrumentation fails, it asks you for the actual source code of your application, the work directory, workspace, and then it instruments the actual source code. So we have two-level instrumentation, but it's completely automatic on one click. So no manual intervention is needed.
I understand M-Automate is an in-house tool, right?
M-Automate is now available for public, so anybody can use it. Yeah.
Can you tell me how is this tool different than Mobile Perfecto, Mobile Labs?
Yeah.
There are tools in the market.
Correct.
Same thing.
Correct. So if you say Perfecto Mobile, it is basically an image comparison based tool, and we are predominantly a object comparison tool. So in case of Perfecto, there are, while recording, the records have to be created for different form factors and different screen sizes. While in case of object-oriented tools, you don't need to create it differentiating based on the form factors. You can record once and execute on multiple, because we check for the objects on the screen, not the images. Yeah, so this is something talking about the trends of the automation tools. So automation tools which were based predominantly on image comparison, they have started moving towards object comparison. And for example, M-Automate, it was previously doing only object comparison. And GA 1.2, which is expected to come out by end of July, we have also added image comparison. So people are enhancing their frameworks. So we do our functional testing based on objects, and we allow image verification. With one tick mark, you are able to verify all the images and maps and images-based objects too. Slight variation.
And how does the scripting take place? Is it just one-time recording?
So you need to record once, the scripts are created, or you need to create the script. There is a function to create a script that automatically executes the app and creates the scripts, gives it the name, and you can use it. Then it creates an object repository for you so that you can click on any test script and you can modify, you can loop, you can put certain regressions, you can put certain more assertions onto it, because the default assertions are that whatever is at the time of recording is expected at the time of playback.
No, I'm trying to understand. See, in Perfecto or mobile app, what you do is actually that it gives you, say, for mobile app, it gives you mobile app trust, right?
Yeah.
Which actually gets the repository, object repository.
Correct.
It scans objects, it gets into the repository, then you use QDB to further, write the scripts. How
Correct.
does that part take place in your tool?
So in my tool, it creates the script automatically, and then it has, for advanced user, it has the actual script view that you can edit. For generic users, what it does, it has an object view in which you can manipulate. You have the activity view. I can just go into a demo quickly. Quickly 2 points, and I go into a demo to show it. Otherwise, I run out of time. So it provides a web-based infrastructure for test case and device suite management. It provides a push-based mechanism to execute test case on a real remote device. So we don't need to have the device physically connected to any of the computers. And the devices are not required to be hardwired to any of the machines as they are required in different cases of mobile labs or the Perfecto or device anywhere. It is just a service application running and the device is ready to be used for testing. The complete execution reports along with the performance numbers are available on the web. So I plan to cover interrupt test automation here. Before we jump into the demo, this is mautomate.com. So I invite all of you to visit mautomate.com. You get to know what is mautomate. You get to know the features of mautomate and getting started. Click on getting started. You will get access. And get access is important for all of you, because if you click on get access and fill this small form, you will get access to this tool mautomate.com, the cloud version of this tool, free to use forever and ever after, with one device on each platform. So as an individual tester or individual developer, you have one device of iOS, one device of Android, one device of Windows Phone that you can add to the system, start using it, testing it, and there is no time limit, 1 week, 1 month, you can use it forever and ever.
So we'll be having like a dashboard view.
Yes, yes. So now for a quick demo, how many minutes? Version of mautomate. I've also created this account just like what you will get when you request for the account, and this is the dashboard view. So this is a view of the completed test execution cycles that I have already executed. The screen is not here. Just a sec. Yeah. And you also get to know the total number of projects, the projects accessible to you that you have created in the systems, total number of devices that are added to the system, and the devices that are active and the devices that are dead or busy. So this is the complete dashboard. I quickly move to the devices tab. There are 3 devices in which this is Nexus 4 from Noida, the smartphone that it says is active. Clicking on it, I get the device property. This is based on Android 4.4.2. It's a device from LG. This is the IMI number, available memory and everything. I move to the projects. And I'll be using a workforce app to demonstrate some of the test cases and what we do. So we have a release management and version management also available for the test suites and the test cases. At the release level, we have all the test cases right now. We can have test cases clubbed together in form of test suites here. And here is one of the test case which is called punch. So this is a workforce application where a user is supposed to punch in and punch out his time if he is working in field at remote location. So it takes the location from the device and allows you to punch. A field worker visits a particular site and says punch in. It automatically takes the location and time and everything and punches back to the system. And this is the test case that has been recorded by doing it manually once. This test case has some 34 steps, 34 events that happened while this test case executed. And so what I did here is, just before this 15th event, I added an orientation change event here. This is it, as a 35th event here. And I go back to releases. I go back to version. So this is the OTA URL on which the actual application is being placed, from which it will be pulled in for the execution. And I show you an execution. I select this device. And I say execute test case. So network is slow because I am using my mobile device to actually connect back to these servers. So it says move on to the dashboard. You all can see the screen of this phone. Depending upon the network, in some time, okay, the app started on this. So I did not touch, I did not do anything. The app will automatically start on this. It will log on. It will proceed to that particular step. It will rotate the screen once it reaches that step like this. So it moves to the landscape because of the orientation change event that I pushed. The punch is accepted and the test case is happening. So what if a test case fails? Let me show you a failed test case. So in order to fail this test case, what I did was that on the device there is a feature to lock the rotation. So I locked the screen rotation and executed it so that it should fail. And As expected, the test case failed, and the framework captured the screen image when it failed. It gave reason in simple English. It could not perform orientation change event on the screen home activity at event number 13 because it was not allowed to change. And it also creates certain logs which are very readable, and there was no image comparison required here. It was not clicked. It gives you the CPU performance, the network at that time, responsiveness, transitions, and these graphs will be more visible if I go in. If I go into another test case that passes. Okay, so this one which I executed just now, word conference for next generation testing 1, it passed with 100%. So here I'll show you the performance numbers, the graphs, all the things that have been captured by this. So test case pass, battery status was 95% at the start, and it was 95% even at the end. Going to the performance numbers. So here we see the name of the activity is the home activity, employee punch activity, and home activity again. So all these activities you see, the memory usage is around 30%, which is okay. So memory usage creates a problem in mobile device if it's crossed 75% or there are spikes. CPU is okay. There is no big CPU utilization. Start from 35% and fall down to list. Network was good, even on GPRS. Responsiveness. So this is the responsiveness of the app as it moves through one activity to another, from the launch activity to home activity and to punch activity. And these are the different transition times that took from